Hey, it's Mark Wasserman at Keller Williams and teamwasserman.com, and I'm here with Debbie Calixto. And a couple weeks ago, Debbie, who's with Stearns Lending in Palm Desert, sent an email out saying that if you knew people who had a short sale several years ago, they may be eligible for an FHA loan. So I asked Debbie to come in, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So Debbie, thanks for coming in. So tell us a little bit about the program and how that works.
Yeah, a lot of people are now coming out of their waiting periods after a short sale and a foreclosure, and it really just depends on the loan type, on what and when you can purchase. A VA loan, so for your veterans out there, after 2 years after a foreclosure or a short sale, you can purchase a home. There's a 3-year waiting period with FHA and USDA to be able to purchase a primary residence. And then if you wanted to go with conventional financing, what is typically a bigger down payment, it is a 7-year waiting period. However, if you have a short sale and you wanted to put 20% down, there's a waiting period of only 2 years. 10% down has a waiting period of 4 years. And this is all to buy a primary residence. Second home and investment property, it is the full 7-year waiting period. So it's really, really good for people who have waited that time frame. Now there is some, if you are putting the 20% down or the 10% down and you were going to try to do it after the 2 years or the 4 years for conventional financing, you still do have to qualify there. You have to show your extenuating circumstance like the loss of income. But guidelines are constantly changing, and it seems like maybe even FHA might be making it a little bit easier with possibly even a 1-year waiting period. But again, you still have to qualify. There's still stipulations.
Right, and we were just talking about that because there was an article in, I think it was the Chicago Sun on Friday, that mentioned that FHA was now a year. But as we were talking, there's a lot of variables involved in that particular program. But let me just ask you, you mentioned second homes.
Mm-hmm.
When you say a second home, do you mean that if somebody had a short sale on a second home, they have to wait the full 7 years, or if they're going to buy a second home after having a short sale?
Yeah, buying a second home. So if somebody already owns a property or they're buying more than 50 miles away from where they are currently living and working, then that would be considered a second home, or an investment property if they are looking to rent it out. That is all under conventional financing and would require the 7-year waiting period. There's really no way around that.
Got it. And we were talking a little bit too, there have been some circumstances, well, you mentioned VA. VA is a 2-year waiting period, correct? And so does somebody have to have absolutely perfect credit? What are the typical credit scores? If I had a short sale, say 4 years ago, I've done a good job in terms of paying my bills, what does my credit score have to look like to qualify for an FHA loan?
Yeah, it's a 640. So as long as you have a 640 and up, and then you can qualify. We use what's called DU and LP, so it's really Fannie and Freddie and FHA's automated underwriting systems that we run every loan through. So if you can get it approved through that, then really you can go as low as 640. Conventional sometimes requires 660 and above, but most people who are looking to buy a primary residence are really trying to get one sooner than later, and they're typically going to go with government financing, and 640 is all that's required.
Okay, excellent. And if people have questions, or if they're in that pool of buyers and they want to call you, how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. It's always good to have a lender look at your situation, even if you do fit with less than that 2-year or 3-year time period, just because guidelines are constantly changing. And we can guide you to where you need to be when it's time to purchase. And they can reach out to me via phone at 760-250-9187, or my email, which is dcalixto@stearns.com. That's DCALIXTO@STEARNS.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.